Hi there, welcome to today's video tutorial. My name is Michael. I'm a growth mindset coach and positive psychology practitioner. So in today's video tutorial, we're going to talk about a topic that is very close to our hearts. It is as certain as night and day. So what we're going to talk about today is change. And more specifically, I will share with you how you can actually thrive in change. So let's just get straight to it. So I think a good place for us to start to talk about thriving in change is to first understand change itself. So today, if you look at it, all of us has got a set of goals that we want to achieve. But for us to move from where we are today to where we want to be, it actually involves a set of changes. So the outcome or the desired results that we want is actually a result of the changes that needs to happen. So think about it. If we continue to do things the same way or doing the same thing, it is very unlikely for us to get a different set of outcomes. So in order for us to get bigger, better, or even faster results, we need to do things differently, and that involves change. So there are fundamentally three sets of different changes that needs to happen. So the first one is around our beliefs, the stories, and the self-talk that we tell ourselves every day, whether these stories are aligned to the goals and is it forwarding you towards where you want to be. Our feelings, how we feel ourselves internally. Do we truly believe that and trust ourselves that we can deliver the result that we want? Or are we having doubts, procrastinating, or even question whether we do have the ability to achieve the kind of results that we want? And lastly, ownership. So how do we show up in our daily lives every day? The things that we do and even the things that we are not doing. So fundamentally, there are three sets of changes that needs to happen for us to shift from where we are to the results that we want. And those three changes are essentially your mindset, your emotions, and lastly, your actions. So how can we then become the person that we need to be to produce the kind of outcomes that we want? So that itself involves understanding our relationship with change itself. So on the left, I want to show you four different zones that we need to go through when we want to move from where we are and get the results that we want. So it starts off from our comfort zone, followed by fear zone, our learning zone, and lastly, our growth zone. So for all of us to get from where we are to the results that we want, it requires us to go through these four different zones. And results have shown that, in fact, research have shown that 93% of people stay within their comfort zone. Only 7% of people step outside their comfort zone and progress towards the growth zone. And out of the 7%, 6% of them gave up in the fear zone and they go back right into their comfort zone. Now, why is it so difficult for us to break and step out of our comfort zone? And the reason behind that is because your brain is primarily hardwired to protect you and to promote your survival. It is not to make you happy or to make you feel successful or accomplished. So your brain is naturally hardwired to protect you against any form of harm. So in today's context, especially in Singapore, this harm is less of a physical nature. So what your brain is literally protecting you against is more of a psychological harm and emotional harm, and more specifically, that is to protect your ego. So every time when we step out of our comfort zone, we feel anxiety, stress, we feel vulnerable. That's because we are doing things for the very first time, or we are doing things that are not familiar to us. And that's where our brain is literally pulling us back, this force back into our comfort zone. And that is why it feels so difficult every time we step out of our comfort zone. And here, this is what I would like you to recognize is that this resistance that you're experiencing is actually your first sign of growth. It is not a weakness or any form of inadequacies. It is natural, it is normal for you to feel that way. So the moment when you feel a sense of resistance, that is the very first sign that you are actually stepping out of your comfort zone into your fear zone and towards your growth zone. So I would like to invite you to embrace that. So what can we then do to help us to overcome this fear zone? So over here, what I'd like to introduce is a strength-based approach that is anchored on positive psychology principles. So on the left, this is a chart that's developed by VIA. So they have actually developed a strength assessment tool that tell us that all of us, you and I, we have a full set of 24 different character strengths. Yes. So each of and every one of us, you and I, each of us has got a full suite of 24 different character strengths that you see on the left. And I think it's important for us to anchor on our strengths as we encounter any changes or challenges, because when we do that, we are actually operating from a space of abundance instead of deficit. Because when we anchor on our strength, that is something that we already have. So what we are really starting point is from a space of abundance, as compared to when we look at ourselves, what we lack or the gaps, which is then operating from a space of deficit. And I think that is very, very important. And the other thing is that our strength is our distinct unfair advantage, because the strengths that you have and the strength that I have are completely different. So each of us has got a very distinct and unique strengths of competitive advantage. So that should give us a confidence and also the leverage as we navigate some of these changes towards the goal that you want to achieve. And lastly, when you recognize the full suite of strengths that you have, you will realize that you are, in fact, a lot more ready than you think you are. So a lot of times when we navigate changes, we think that we are not ready, or we are not equipped, we lack of knowledge, or we are just not confident enough. So with this, I hope you recognize that, in fact, you're more than ready and you're more than equipped than ever that you think you are. So how can we then put this into practice? So here I would like to invite you to try these 3 very simple steps to optimize your own strengths. So it's called the strength spotting exercise, and it takes about 5 minutes. So the first thing that you need to do is to take a free assessment from the VIA website. It's absolutely free to identify your unique set of 24 different character strengths. So once you've done that, these are 3 very simple questions to get you started. So the first one is, which 3 signature strengths can help you to overcome your current barriers? So signature strengths here refer to your top 5 strengths based on your results. And then think about how can you then activate your underutilized strengths. So your underutilized strengths are strengths that you already possess, but you might not be fully aware of. So these are the strengths that falls between number 6 to probably number 15. So these are the strengths that you already have, but you may not be necessarily aware of them. And as a result, you're not fully utilizing them to your best advantage. So think about how can you then activate your underutilized strengths more often. And lastly, how can you best leverage your mix of different 24 strengths to your best advantage? As I said, each of you has got a very different, unique set of strengths, and that is your distinct competitive advantage. So how can you make the best use of it? So with that, I'd like to leave you with this particular visual. Visualize. So instead of seeing yourself as a 3-piece band with 3 to 4 different strengths, right now I'd like you to think about yourself as the conductor of a 24-piece orchestra. So if you have 24 different strengths at your disposal, then how are you going to make this orchestra roar to your advantage? So with that, as usual, I hope you find this video tutorial to be practical and to be helpful. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out, connect with me. I'd love to hear from your feedback as well as how I can help. So I hope you find this helpful. Thank you.